Some of your other credits that I think a lot of us are familiar with, as we talked about previously, the 3 o'clock in the morning viewers that got acquainted with the Leech woman. You see that?
I like that movie.
Good. So do I. So does he. So, how did you get that part, and do you still have a dedicated cadre of Leech woman fans that contact you?
Absolutely. I went on an audition at Universal, and we did it in 2.5 weeks, and we laughed a lot.
I think Colin Gray will be here, I believe, on the 25th of April for The Killing and The Sleeping City, your co-star in The Leech Woman. That's right. And of course, I think all of us who's ever seen the movie remembers To Kill a Mockingbird.
Right.
And you were in that. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I played Brock Peters' wife, and I had 2 scenes with Herbert Peck, and he was the most gracious person that you'd ever want to meet. And I was glad to be in that film. I mean, it was just really a very important movie.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you actually broke the color line on Leave It to Beaver. Yes, with Ward Cleaver and all of that. Oh my God, you can always tell the baby boomers among us and Leave It to Beaver. And something else, your marriage to Werner Klemperer, a great actor, and as anyone that is a baby boomer, we all grew up watching Werner as Colonel Klink on Hogan's Heroes, but certainly there was a lot more depth and a lot more ability. Talk a little bit about Werner.
Well, he had a film career other than just having been Colonel Klink on Hogan's Heroes.
Certainly.
And we were together for 25 years.
Wow.
We were married for 4 of those years. Well, what the hell.
He made an honest woman out of it after 16.
So, I mean, he was just this wonderful person, and he was very exciting. He was very much involved in classical music. His father was a very famous conductor named Ivan Dixon, and his avocation was narration with symphony orchestras, and so he did a lot of that. And particularly toward the end of his life, that's what he did.
Right.
But it was just wonderful. I mean, it expanded my consciousness.
Wow. Sounds like a great relationship.
Yeah.
Going back to Odds Against Tomorrow for a minute, were you aware, or was everyone aware that was working on the film, basically, that Abe Polonsky was the writer?
No, they were not.
They were not.
Because he was in that little room.
The little room. Can you tell us a little bit about the little room?
Well, I don't know really too much about it. One day I was on the set, and I went into this room, and there was a man in there, and he had a typewriter, and he was writing, and that was it.
Abe was at work. Abe at work writing. So he was just there, but no one really knew who he was.
No one knew who he was, and nobody told me.
Yeah.
But later on, I found out who he was. I found out that he was actually the writer. And John Killens, I think it was.
Yeah, John Killens was fronting.
Yeah, got the screen credits.
That's correct.
So.
That's correct. Wow, great writer. Abe was a great guy. A lot of piss and vinegar. How about if we take some questions? Does anybody have some questions for Kim?
They were very good friends, and it was Harry Belafonte's company was called Harbell Productions, and I gathered that they'd known each other well before they actually started directing that film, but they seemed to be very close.
Anybody else? Yes, right there. Jeff.
Oh, Jeff was a terrific acting coach and a very good actor as well. And he'd been blacklisted for many years until late in his life. But it was just, I mean, all the people, I mean, he just had so many acting classes that it was amazing. And people would send people to his acting classes and say, but don't say I said this. Don't say I told you. And because he was still with the dregs of the blacklisting. But he was a good acting coach.
Unbelievable. He was also, I believe, a combat photographer during World War II.
He told yeah.
Yeah, served his country honorably. Somebody else? Yes, right there. Other career highlights.
I worked on a movie at RKO called Tennessee's Partner, and I played a towel girl in a whorehouse with John Payne and Rhonda Fleming, and Angie Dickinson was one of the girls in that film. I don't know, but it's around.
No.
I have it on.
You have it on VHS.
Yeah.
Need a copy. Who else? Anybody else? Oh, up on the balcony, waving your hand in the back row.
Oh, that was wonderful. He treated you like you were a queen, or a king if you were a man.
There you go, you got that one right.
Anyway, he was there every day, and he came and he would talk to you, and he was just wonderful. And it was a good Twilight Zone. The Big Tall Wish is what it was called.
Very good.
Yeah. But I loved working with him.
Anyone else? Going once, going twice? Yes, Eddie.
I was just wondering, when you said right at the top that the film, wasn't as well known as it should be, Odds Against Tomorrow.
Right.
I'm just curious, was there any kind of reaction to the race issues in the film when it came out? Did critics pay attention to it, or did it just slip past because it was a crime picture, not really a film advertised as being about race relations?
I think you have it right, that it just kind of slipped past, and they didn't really get onto that, of the race relations.
I mean, wasn't that clearly the reason why Harry Belafonte wanted to make this particular film?
I don't know if that was the clear reason he wanted to make the film. I think he wanted to make it because he read the script, and it was a very good script, and a good part for him.
Last question from Mike over here.
We became friends, and we did a play together called The Blacks. And in fact, I spoke to Ivan yesterday. He's retired, and I think he lives in South Carolina. He had lived in Tehachapi, California, and but they moved to South Carolina, and he's retired because he became a director. And he's just a wonderful person. His wife was marvelous. He's had tragedy with his children. 2 of his children passed away, and that was very painful to him, to both of them.
So it's painful in the
Yeah.
child, I suppose.
Yeah. I Werner used to live at the Sunset Towers when it was the old Sunset Towers before it was refurbished. And the Actors Studio West is right next door, and he was attending a play there, and I was attending the same play, and we knew the writer, and I was with friends that he knew, and he was with friends that I knew, and we were introduced, and that's how I met him. And we became friends.
Did he have issues about the fact that he played Adolf Eichmann and he played a whole cadre of Nazis, and actually spiritually he was wholly other? Did he ever?
No, because he said he was a performer.
He's an actor.
He's right. Yeah. He's an actor, and those were parts.
Yeah. One bit of trivia on Ivan Dixon. If you watch the movie The Defiant Ones, and you have Tony Curtis and Sidney Poitier crossing the river and falling into that pit, that's actually Bobby Hoy and Ivan Dixon doubling Sidney, and I think that was his first job in show business.
Well, Ivan and Sidney are very, very close to this day. They were then.
Yes.
And I think Ivan was kind of like his stand-in or something.
Yeah. I think as the story goes, Bobby got him to Stanley Kramer said, "I need somebody for Sidney."
Yeah.
And that, I think that's where they met on that picture of the Defiant Ones.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Anyone else? Okay, well, Odds Against Tomorrow might have gone under the radar screen and been unnoticed back in 1959, but here in 2007 at the Egyptian Theater, it certainly is not going to go unnoticed, and we thank you so much for coming out and joining us.